Hi Sarah, how are you, honey?
Oh, I'm very good. Thank you, Louise. Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm more all the better for catching up with you because I've wanted to do this for a long, long while. For the sake of everybody watching this, I met Sarah initially on the menopause Pilates CPD training with Diana Saman, and we had a chat, didn't we, Sarah? And you have since become an Adore Your Floor coach.
Yes.
For those again that don't know Sarah, she's a PT instructor and Pilates, a fantastic Instagram, Sarah, because your equipment and the things that you do, you're skipping to the
Oh
music.
gosh.
Love it.
You're too kind, Louise. You're too kind.
Not at all, because you inspire me, you do. And we were having our chat, weren't we? And your wishes and your hopes for within women's wellness, because you love education, and then also the prenatal, postnatal, and menopausal work. Women's wellness is your area of love,
Yeah.
and likewise for us and for myself. And the one area that has been on my mind for a few years is reaching the ethnic communities, and that is what you want to do. So I'm like, right, that's it, Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were meant to be on that course together, because I actually delayed 1 month and went on that one in the summer. And then obviously that's where we met and started our discussions of what we could do and achieve. So yeah, meant to be.
You can see my smile because
yeah. And I know we've been saying, oh, we need to do these videos, and I think it's a fab way to start 2022 talking about women's wellness and health, and just getting the message out there as much as we can.
Absolutely, because we've got a few subjects that we want to cover, and so we're going to keep the videos quite short and sweet generally, but to get some discussion going. And so you've chosen to bring up, first of all, pelvic floors. So we know generally within all communities, pelvic floors, women's health, incontinence, all the things, the pain, bowel issues, they're not generally discussed as open as what we would like. The education may not be as much as we would like. What is it? How is it for your community? Because it's going to be different from ours.
I think it is and it isn't. The discussion is opening up about all these subjects, and I think social media has a lot to do with that. It's a way to get out there to the masses, rather than just the small community discussions that you can have within a closed community. And the dialogue, I think, just needs to be more open. It needs to be more accessible, so that women feel comfortable to open up, because I think that's what it is the slightly taboo subject maybe of women's health amongst sort of ethnic communities, I think can lead women to keep things to themselves, not have discussion even with other women, not go to their doctors, not seek help from medical professionals, not even to go to a physio, to just assume that how they feel is how they feel, and they have to put up with it. And I think there's still a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done, to be honest, because I know just from me now starting to get into it in the last couple of years, really with the health and wellness field, that I've learned so much, but I know how proactive I am in learning and trying to seek out the education. And I'm well aware that a lot of people are not like that. So they just don't know. And if it's not sort of delivered to them, then they will just never know, really, I feel like.
Yeah. And then women then can be living with pain.
Pain and issues that could be quite serious potentially, that may or may not be able to be helped by the medical profession, but nobody can help you, if they don't know, really. And then on the other flip side of it, I feel with the pelvic floor issues, when there is issues with leakage or stress incontinence or anything like that, I've noticed there's either one sort of scenario that it's just not spoken about at all, and nobody really discusses it. It's just not a discussion that is had, or then it's just so disregarded and laughed about almost, that that's just normal, or when I jump or when I sneeze, I wee myself a little bit, and that's just normal, isn't it? And I was quite surprised in that dialogue. So no, it's not really normal. Why would you assume that it might be common, but why would you assume that it's normal?
Yeah.
So there's two different ways of it that is being looked at, that only I think education can help, really.
Yeah, because it can be somebody's normal because this is what's presenting themselves, but and when something, but we know that 85% of issues can be resolved. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That message isn't put out there enough, and where to go to get those resources. Yeah.
That I mean, 85% of issues can be resolved. I was surprised by those statistics, really. So I think the average person just assumes that it's something they have to live with.
Yeah.
But it is not at all. It's so solvable, it's so fixable.
Yeah.
That
when something is common, it's normalized. That's very different, isn't it? And it's easier to normalize it than maybe if you're not sure how to resolve it, then it's easier to normalize it.
Yeah.
And there are many women's and men's pelvic health physios across the UK, but worldwide, where actually that's their specialist area. We've got the Adore Your Floor coaches.
Yeah.
There is education. It's just being able to get that education to the communities, all communities, so that then women know how to recognise something that actually needs.
Yeah, that's it. It's just to get the overall message out there that these issues, pelvic floor issues that can cause the incontinence issues, that can cause pain, that can cause bowel leakage, even, that it, as embarrassing as it may be, to try and put that to the side and seek help, because potentially you can feel much better, you can be helped, and you don't have to live with it. And it's just getting past that embarrassment, the uncomfortableness of having a discussion, and I suppose it depends what age bracket you're in, and sort of where you are in society, because sometimes you can have the language barrier if it's a more elderly generation, if they haven't become comfortable with speaking English, which there are many, the older people, older women, then I just feel that they really struggle with telling anybody and having the discussion with anybody, really. So education,
because we already know that there's barriers to all women generally.
Yeah.
Help. On average, it takes 7 years before a woman will seek a health provider with regards to incontinence. So if this is English speaking, taking 7 years, then actually how that's a double whammy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking English to get the point across. Okay. How do you think, I'm throwing this at you, Sarah, how do you think you're going to be able to reach your community?
Personally, if you're asking me, I mean, how I envisage it. In my journey so far, I've just, I started off with just becoming a PT, and then Pilates, and then you learn more about the pelvic floor, and then more and more CPDs. I'm a bit obsessed with education and taking CPDs, and then obviously Dinah's course, the menopause, and then working with you and qualifying as a pelvic floor coach. I only think it's just to talk about it more, use the platforms that we have. If you are privileged enough to be able to create a platform, which slowly I'm trying just a little bit to just dominate a little bit of Instagram or TikTok or wherever the corner is, and just start there, because I feel like you have to start somewhere. It's a passion I have now, is women's wellness. All started with my own wellness. So and to be able to help other women feel better or feel comfortable or confident in their bodies. Not, it doesn't by any means need to be aesthetic or anything, you know, it's just about being well, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to feel well in their own bodies.
Yeah, and I think with incontinence issues, it is actually recognised that that incontinence is one of the biggest barriers for women to participate in exercise.
Yeah.
And then also there's the other side where if somebody is experiencing frequency, it can be that they do start to actually leave the house less and less often, because if they aren't aware of where there's going to be a safe toilet to use, then it can actually mean that they aren't leaving the house less often, which are two huge things. And just two things off the top of my head right now as we're chatting.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned my skipping at the beginning. Well, I've had lots of people comment privately to me that, oh, I love your skipping videos, but I could never do that because I would just leak. That a lot of comments have come just from people watching my, you know, my skipping videos. So look at the dialogue.
Videos, everybody, they are so get you buzzy.
So just, you know, the dialogue that just creates to see that then women are obviously holding themselves back from exercise, certain kinds of exercise maybe, or then just all exercise, because they feel that will be an issue for them and it's embarrassing, and you know, they don't want to have that issue in front of anybody else, or just even feel it yourself, you know, to just feel it yourself. Really, it's not nice to have that leakage. If you
it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
It's very inconvenient. And it's about working it up, isn't it? It's like, because the pelvic floor muscles are like any other group of muscles within the body. I say this all the time, but they need length to have strength and coordination to be reactive. And it's because we can't see them. There's always the big unknown about pelvic floors and why has that just happened? So yes, it's about giving your own pelvic floor group that individual specific program that it requires to then build on the strength once that reaction starts to occur. So you can skip and you can travel forward and backward skipping, and you can skip hard and fast, and so that is the way that women can get there. But if we drop one thing out of our life, so I can't skip, I'd love to skip but I can't skip, so I'll put that to the side. Then you nip something else out of your life because, well, I can't go on that long walk because I'll need the toilet, and then you take something else out. I'm not going on the trampoline with the children, and then suddenly, before you know it, suddenly you cut out a huge aspect of what you could be living just purely because of incontinence. And yet 85% of this is going to be resolved.
That's the thing, that 85% of it can be resolved. So I mean, I thought like it once, I don't know, I can't really think back now, but it's just naturally assumed if you have that issue, if you have leakage, incontinence, and that's it, that's the end, and that it can never be changed. And people are quite so surprised that, oh, I can work towards this, I can improve this, you know, this can get better, I can be fine, I can do those things. I think that must be just like an eye-opener. It must be really sort of baffling people that this is a solvable issue. So it does all just come back to education, doesn't it? Starting from somewhere to educate people, men, women, everybody really.
Yeah, and I think if anyone's tried a pelvic floor exercise previously and you think, well, it didn't work for me, it's like trying on a pair of shoes, isn't it? It's like, well, let's try again on a different day, where your feet aren't so swollen or your shoes aren't so high or the size is a little bit different. It's try again, because there is help out there. There are women's health physios, you know, there's information on the NHS health websites. Yes, of course, there's the Adore Your Pelvic Floor program. Look on Instagram, there is so much information out there. I know that on your website, you'll be having information on there. Our website, we've got women's health and men's health education on there. It's breaking the taboo. Let's start talking. Let's take some action to then gain freedom.
Yeah, exactly. It is that, and that, you know, they might be just, maybe my platform is a small platform at present, you know, I just dream to be able to sort of get the message out there to help as many women as possible, really, and that's really probably what is behind
I love
Well,
your
I'm glad
Instagram,
you do.
so you definitely will. So collaboration, I mean, like, particularly with the work that you are hoping for, if there's anybody out there that is actually wanting to collaborate with Sarah, with reaching different communities and ways of how to do that, ideas.
Yeah,
Then
definitely ideas.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
that I think we all need to join together.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, that's where the perks and benefits of social media and collaborating and working with others and women working with women. It all really, it really helps the cause, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, Sarah, it's been delightful. Next time we talk, we're going to be talking about I can't even say it, menstruation.
Menstruation, long word. Yes, look forward to it.
Yeah, and that's going to be really interesting too. So, well, is there anything you want to add about?
Just probably I would say, if you are listening to this, just educate yourself. If you are dealing with any issues as such, you can find a solution. Get in touch with me, get in touch with Louise, you know, there is something that can make you feel better.
Oh, darling, I'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thank you for your time. Bye bye,
Thank
Hannah.
you. Bye now.